So I just saw John Wick full, and this is the first one I saw in theaters. I watched the last three over the last few months. In anticipation of this one, and yeah, I wasn't. I've always liked John Wick, but I've never been like a huge fan of it. But this one like takes it to new highs. This is definitely the best one ever, like the best one, and probably like one of my favorite action movies now. Something I've always admired about John Wick is that it's not just like a CGI muddled mess like a bunch of other action movies have been lately. Looking at you, Disney. But like they use, a lot of stunt work, choreographed fight scenes, and not that many green screens. It's very impressive, and it brings back kind of old martial art movie vibes, but on a modern technical level. It's really cool. So this movie was 2 hours and 49 minutes long, but it did not seem like that. Like, yeah, you felt the scope of it. It was a very big scope, and it definitely like owned its runtime. But from the minute it starts to like the minute it ends, it's constantly like going. It does not let off get the gas. And usually when that happens in movies for me, I get bored because those like constant action, it kind of gets old. But for this, it doesn't. It just bam, bam, bam. Like you're just so engaged in it because you care about John Wick as a character, and the new side characters you come to care about them too. So it's very impressive when it comes to that. This movie has a much bigger budget than the last one, and you could definitely tell that. But unlike a lot of series that keep trying to outdo itself, it hasn't jumped the shark, which is why I'm very glad this is the final John Wick movie because, like I said, a lot of movie series, when they keep going and they get bigger and bigger budgets, they end up getting a little crazy and, jumping the shark. It just doesn't work. It's just they try too much. But this one, they knew when to stop, and I could really appreciate that about a series. So for the rest of the video, I'm probably gonna get into spoilers, but just know, very great movie, wonderful action scenes, good character moments, likable new characters. Okay, spoilers now. So John has a mission this time. He has been, canceled by the high table, and he doesn't know how to finish. He doesn't know how to end. But then he's like, okay, wait. If I challenge Mr. Clown from It to a fight or a duel, then my crimes will be forgiven, and the entire planet won't try to kill me anymore. Now, unfortunately, because Winston helped John Wick escape in the last one, Pennywise killed Lance Reddick, which is kind of, left a bad taste in my mouth because Lance Reddick literally died like 2 weeks ago. So, I know they didn't know that was going to happen, but like just seeing him get shot in the head like that after the actor died, it was a little unsettling. But whatever. So the hotel's gone. It got blown up, and they're gonna be like, "We're gonna kill you, Winston." And John's like, "Okay, if I defeat you in the duel, one, you let me go free, and two, you rebuild his hotel." And they're like, "Okay." We meet a bunch of new characters. We meet Kane, played by Donnie Yen, who was friends with John Wick, but now has to kill him because if he doesn't, then Pennywise from It will kill his daughter, who is a violinist, so that's cool. But yeah, Kane's kind of crazy because he took his eyes out, so now he's blind, but he could still beat the fuck out of people, kind of like Toph from Avatar. We meet Shimazu, I think his name is. He is the owner of I think it's the Japanese hotel, and his daughter, who does a very good performance in this. It's actually her first acting role, I think. Very impressive there. I love those scenes with her and her dad fighting down the big army, and the dad dies, and she's like, "Great, I gotta go after the blind guy, and I gotta kill Kane," which is setting up the spin-off. And we meet Killa, who is this guy with a dog, and he has this badass dog, but also his dog is kind of cute, even though he like, you know, kills people and stuff. The dog is also kind of cute because he looks like my dog, and I love my dog. And then Bill Skarsgård as Marquise. So like it's a pretty ensemble cast, but everybody gets a chance to shine, and opens the opportunity for spin-offs. Even though John Wick the character is dead, the series could go on. I'd most like to see is Kane because I feel like he, besides Wick, was probably the most compelling character in this movie. Very good acting. I loved the guy. I haven't seen him in anything else, Donnie Yen, but I loved his choreographed fight scenes. He's like one of those guys who's been around for a while, like Jackie Chan or Michelle Yeoh, I think. But Keanu, everybody knew he was going to be great in this. He is great in this. All those stunts he does is incredible. He has a very wide range of emotions in this movie. Not just the stoic Rick we're used to. But yeah, like he is such a great like action hero. He kills people in all these interesting ways. Just the kung fu he does, or whatever that's called. It's great. He should win all the awards. It's funny, I saw this article online a few months ago that was like the worst actors ever. And it had Keanu Reeves on the list, it had Brendan Fraser, and it had Kevin Costner. And it's like, who made that list? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. All three of those guys are great actors. They should make a movie together, honestly. Yeah, like I said, this has a much bigger scope than the other ones. We go to Japan, we go to Paris, we go to New York, we go somewhere else. I forgot what that one was called. Um, there's a great like fight on this huge staircase where he's like beating the fuck out of people. He gets pushed down like 7 flights of stairs. He's fine. That's probably my one complaint about this movie is that Keanu, like John, gets injured so many times and he just walks it off and he's fine. That's probably my like one of my only critiques with this movie is that like he has a lot of plot armor and it's kind of gets old. But yeah, anyway, there's this huge fight in the middle of traffic in this huge roundabout. That looked incredible. And the Japanese hotel fight scene was great too. I loved like the architecture. I'm not really a big architecture guy, but that looked like a cool hotel. I'd stay in that hotel. All types of weapons. We get nunchucks. We get like these stall things. We get the crazy German Shepherd who also was kind of cute. We get swords, we get guns, we get, hand to hand combat. It has something for everybody here. I like the scene where they're at this dance club and he's like beating the shit out of these people and nobody gives a fuck. But then like some light switches and then everybody gives a fuck and they start running out screaming. They're like, "Oh my god, we didn't care for the first half, but now we do care." That was funny. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, but I thought it was funny. I really liked the soundtrack. Like the soundtrack for all those John Wick movies is really cool, but this one especially, like especially the you know the the music during the final gun standoff between Yen and Wick and the cover of Paint It Black, but it's in French because they're in France. That was pretty cool too. Um, I love the final showdown. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I like the respect Kane and Rick show for each other. How Kane helps him up the flight of stairs, before the shootout, and the whole like them at a restaurant standoff was so Leone to me. It looked straight out of a Leone movie, like Clint Eastwood's supposed to be there or something. From the music to the silence to like the intensity, it was brilliant. I loved the whole like fake out thing, like he didn't shoot his gun yet, and he kills Bill Skarsgård's character. That was great. Um, like I said, I love the respect these two people who used to be friends and now have forced into enemies. I love that. It's great. And yes, John Wick does die in the end, which I unfortunately was spoiled for. I have to stay off the internet, don't I? But while he is dead, at least he's free. We get that sense. So it's a bittersweet ending. And yeah, Keanu's final scene, he gives a beautiful performance as he reminisces over his late wife. Hopefully they get to be together again. But yeah, for those who said Keanu isn't a good actor, come on. But have we even watched? Maybe he just watched his bad movies because yeah, he was in a bunch of bad movies. But when he gets the right material, he's amazing. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Definitely one of the best movies I've seen in theaters for a long time, probably since like Top Gun Maverick. Honestly, it was just compelling visually, emotionally. One of the best action movies I've seen in a long time. So yeah, if you're a fan of action movies, John Wick, Keanu Reeves. You definitely check this one out, you know? Um, so yeah, let me know what you guys thought of John Wick 4 down in the comments. And how would you rank the movies? I'm gonna go 4, 2, 1, 3. I don't know. And thank you, yeah, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe down below for more videos like this. And until next time, peace.